훌륭합니다, 밥샵.
라이트 밥샵 시작했습니다. 이분은 뭐 밥샵치.
In the world of combat sports, people love to preach the same old mantra: strength, speed, and shredded abs win fights. But guess what? Reality disagrees. Some of the most dangerous fighters in history have looked more like competitive eaters than athletes. These cholesterol-fueled wrecking balls have defied expectations, steamrolling raw power, iron chins, and let's be honest, a bit of assistance. Today, the most epic moments where big guys crushed muscle monsters. Forget six-packs, these legends carried entire kegs and still knocked out bodybuilders like they were made of glass. Chris Barnett, known as Huggy Bear, might look like he belongs at a backyard BBQ rather than a fight ring, but when the bell rings, he turns into a wrecking ball with a license to kill. In his legendary battle against tattooed titan Jay White, Barnett didn't just win, he rearranged White's future memories.
Just to let him know he has one. Now he comes in and they exchange and a good counter by...
From the first bell, Huggy Bear unleashed ferocious haymakers, smashing through White's guard like a battering ram. White, who looked like he was carved out of stone, quickly found out that muscles don't mean squat when a 267-pound bullet is coming at you full speed.
Some nice counter punching tonight, but you're right, it's a different White than we've seen in the past.
After absorbing enough damage to send most men into early retirement, White crumbled like an overcooked cookie knocked out cold.
Trying to swing his way out of it, back up. Right on top of his Barnett. Barnett's finished it.
Then came the signature celebration, Barnett's legendary belly dance. With his opponent out cold, he turned the ring into his personal dance floor, reminding the world that being big and being athletic isn't mutually exclusive.
Chris Barnett is still unbeaten in the battle of the big men. Barnett.
Vyacheslav Datsik, Russia's wildest fighting madman, took on Gano dos Santos, a man who looked like he was sculpted in a secret lab. Dos Santos, also known as the Chef, was confident he'd cook up a quick victory, but what he didn't account for was Datsik's pure, unhinged madness. The fight started with Datsik charging forward like a barbarian raiding a village, throwing wild hooks that ignored all concepts of defense. Then it happened. Datsik's fury reached its boiling point. He unleashed a combo that sent Dos Santos crashing to the mat, questioning his life choices. The muscle-bound warrior had no answer to Datsik's relentless aggression and unshakable durability. Thus, the Chef got cooked. Roy Nelson, affectionately known as Big Country, has the body of a guy who owns a deep fryer but the knockout power of a demolition team. In his fight against Brad Imes, Nelson proved that if your chin isn't made of titanium, you're not surviving a heavy punch from him.
Using that reach. Oh, nice.
From the first exchange, Nelson was throwing bombs.
Body, set it up. I know you're hungry.
Imes, significantly taller and looking like a Greek statue, quickly realized his sculpted physique wasn't going to help.
You know a good game plan would be now, right? Oh, another right and another.
Nelson absorbed a few punches like a sponge, then responded with a nuclear right hand that left Imes counting imaginary birds circling his head.
Imes took this fight on only 2 weeks' notice.
Thus, we can see that while others were perfecting their six-packs, Hunt was perfecting his one-punch knockout power.
Bang, bang! Good night. Roy Nelson in dramatic...
Before Imes could process what happened, the fight was over. Nelson had flattened him like pizza dough, proving once again that power beats aesthetics in a real fight. If there's one man who embodies fat guy dominance, it's Eric Butterbean Esch, a walking wrecking ball. Butterbean has steamrolled more opponents than most shredded fighters who spent their lives sculpting their bodies in the gym. Against Billy Eaton, Butterbean wasted zero time. From the opening seconds, he came forward, unloading gigantic punches that sounded like gunshots.
Slide to his left. Slide to his left.
Eaton, probably wondering if he had made a mistake signing up for this, attempted to circle away. But you don't run from Butterbean, you just delay the inevitable. A crushing right hand made Eaton difficult to survive in the ring.
Beans shape, tribute to the commissioner.
And he looked as if a wrecking ball had just hit him.
And Eaton.
Butterbean's excess weight didn't slow him down.
On the chin. All but
It enhanced his punching power and brought him the ultimate victory.
now it's all over.
Bob Sapp, a literal genetic experiment, was expected to demolish Chubby Orel, a man who looked like he got lost on the way to a food truck festival. But size and strength don't always win fights. Sometimes being tough and fearless is all you need. Orel didn't back down, charging at Sapp like a bowling ball. Sapp, used to be the bigger, stronger man, looked shocked as Orel started swinging wild punches with reckless abandon. In an instant, the tide turned. Orel overwhelmed the giant, forcing the referee to step in and stop the fight. It was an underdog story for the ages. Sapp, with all his muscles and genetic gifts, had been manhandled by a fighter who refused to quit. This was the moment that shocked the boxing world. Andy Ruiz, a pudgy, friendly-looking guy, stepped into the ring against Anthony Joshua, the sculpted Adonis of boxing. Everyone expected Joshua is to crush Ruiz in a few rounds. Instead, we got one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. Joshua started strong, using his reach and jab to keep Ruiz at bay. But in round 3, everything changed. Ruiz caught Joshua with a thunderous left hook, and suddenly the champ was in survival mode.
Anthony Joshua for just the second time in his career.
Then came the brutal beatdown. Ruiz dropped Joshua 4 times, battering him with combinations that looked impossible for someone his size. Joshua, completely exhausted, had no answer for Ruiz's shockingly fast hands and iron chin. With that victory, Ruiz proved to the world that bodybuilders don't always make the best fighters. Skill, toughness, and heartbeat aesthetics every time, right? If you think that too, then let us know in the comments below. Mark Hunt was never built like a Greek god. He was built like a freight train. Short, stocky, and carrying an extra few pounds, Hunt didn't care about looking the part. He just cared about one thing, not old. In 2013, he faced Stefan Struve, a 7-foot-tall Dutch kickboxer with an enormous reach advantage. Struve had every physical advantage, height, length, and youth. But what he didn't have was Mark Hunt's legendary power.
Our team steps in.
After the fight, doctors confirmed what fans already suspect was more than enough. Hunt and Tuivasa is built like a bulldozer on cheat day. Big, powerful, and surprisingly fast for his size. When he squared off against Greg Hardy, a former NFL athlete with a physique sculpted for sports, most expected Hardy's speed and explosiveness to carry him to victory. Tuivasa, always the entertainer, immediately made his victory dance move that sent everyone in amusement. An absolute legend. Food joint. Derek Lewis, also known as the Black Beast, has a fighting style that can be summed up in one sentence: just wait for my right hand to land. In 2021, he faced Curtis Blades, a muscular wrestler who planned to outwork and overpower Lewis with takedowns. The great equalizer. Fedor Emelianenko wasn't your typical MMA fighter. No chiseled abs, no flashy trash talk, just pure, unfiltered destruction. While other fighters looked like they belonged in a Marvel movie, Fedor looked like your uncle who fixes cars on weekends. But inside the ring, he was a stone-cold killer. In 2009, he faced Brett Rogers, a towering, muscle-bound powerhouse with a perfect record. Rogers had size, strength, and a mean streak. The fight was set up as David versus Goliath, except in this version, David was a 230-pound Russian with nuclear-powered fists. As the crowd erupted, Fedor had once again defied expectations, proving that muscles mean nothing when you have technique, power, and an unshakable will. Another shredded opponent in ruins. Time and time again, these big, stocky warriors have proven that a six-pack doesn't win fights. It's the power, toughness, and heart that do. From Butterbean's haymakers to Fedor's tactical destruction, these fighters have rewritten the rules of combat sports. So next time you see a pudgy, unassuming fighter step into the ring against a muscular titan, remember that power beats aesthetics. Chins of steel can take shots that muscles can't, and the will to win is more important than how you look. Respect the big guys, because when they swing, ripped fighters go to sleep. What do you think about it? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked the video, then like and subscribe to the channel for more interesting stuff. See you soon.